Hello, guys. It's a beautiful week, another weekend, and you're welcome to Melon, your podcast. And as usual, it's me, your host, Keto, and and as always, we'd like to say a very big thank you to all our listeners everywhere around the world for just tuning in and listening, and just taking your time, your precious minutes, just to listen to our stupid show. Well, every one of you had a great weekend and all that. So, Dalali, to me, one of the things that when we go on, let me say, our normal break on it, because this one is not a break, it's just us doing our own thing and all that. It's very, very hard for me even starting the show, because sometimes I feel like, oh, it's been, let me say, 2 weeks now, and I've not even said like actually welcome to Melon. So sometimes it's like I'm about, for me, it's always like my first episode, and then all over again. So yeah. So sometimes when I think we get into the conversation and all that, then everything just flows from me. And so what happened when you were away? What was you even doing?
For me, it was basically work. Like I have been extremely busy. Sometimes I get back home around 10 p.m. Sometimes 9, 11. So for me, it has been work. Yeah. And as you said, yeah. So as you said, this thing, it's like when you start working out, when you hit the gym, and
Yeah.
then you stop for about a week or two. Going back becomes so
Very,
difficult.
very
Like
so
you're
difficult. Yeah.
putting yourself in the mood. It's like the hardest.
Seriously,
Yeah.
because me last week, I wanted us to record, so I was like, nah, because I go home, let me say Thursday, I go home around 9, and I was like, nah, maybe by the time you're asleep, so I shouldn't worry you. So Friday, I was like, oh wait, I'll call you on, maybe I'll text you on Saturday morning, then we'll see. Then Saturday too, a friend of mine was having her what do they call it? Like Muslim marriage. I think they have a name for it, Awuri or
Uh-huh.
something.
I will. Yeah, I
So
will.
I had to just go, oh seriously, and I was just going back and forth with my designer and all that. Seriously. It was very, 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 very crazy. Crazy. Yeah. So how about you? Hold up.
Well, for me, yeah, you were about saying something.
So I'll say that, like, how about you? Like a whole lot of things have happened whilst we are
A,
away, and our
a
listeners, we
lot.
are here for you. Okay, don't worry, we are here. You let's the Lali just summarize everything that he did. Then we go to the business.
So for me, like aside work, I haven't really been up to so much.
Mm-hmm.
So last week, the reason I actually had a very um, hectic week was because I did a job for someone, and I did okay. So I didn't do the job. It wasn't like um a new project.
Yeah.
So he had an issue with his power. I think last week it rained continuously for almost 24 hours. One of the days.
Yeah.
Yes. So when it was raining, I think when the thunder struck, it damaged almost all his appliances. Like it damaged everything. His
Oh.
lights, electronics. it was sad. So I had to go and check his electric fence and then his gate automation, the motor.
Mm.
The thunder strike had it blew all his power sources. So I
Whoa.
had to go and check and change. It wasn't easy. So and with these things, a lot of times when you go, you check for the faults, you find a fault, you come back and you find another fault. So that was what was happening to me. Anytime I go, I find a different fault, and it was tedious.
Mm.
I was mad. I was like, yo, where I am. I'm so far away from him. He lives at Fafaha. Fafaha is
Whoa. That's very
very
far.
close to me, very far, I am at Palm Wine. So going back and forth,
Seriously.
Charlie.
I think that would be like 20 kilometers or more.
I'm telling you, it's Charlie. It was crazy. It was crazy. From last week to from last week to this week, I have just been going up and down, and sorry,
Mm.
it's not been easy at all.
A whole lot, a whole lot, a whole lot. So there's been a lot, like the mass shooting and all that in the United States. Because seriously,
Yeah,
for me, this subject, I find it very funny because if it was to happen in any of our countries, like the African countries, they will have just issued a notice to their citizens. And how seriously, I read one thing and the guy was like on Twitter, we we is illegal in some states, but buying gun is legal. So if you
yeah.
see a whole lot is happening, and I'm like, hey, seriously. But I think
So
what I, I think for me, it's not the best way because there are no background checks and all that. So for me, Charlie, I can't imagine this thing happening in Ghana. No, it can't. Or like any other like country. And it can only happen there because I think their constitution gives them, like they said something like the Fifth Amendment or something. It gives them the power to
yeah,
just like to own guns. So you can just walk into like a gun shop and just buy like an AR-15. And see, that's seriously deadly. That's seriously deadly. I don't know what you have to say about this, because
for me personally, I don't have an issue with gun possession. For me, gun possession isn't really my problem. However, I feel is the manner in which people get access to these guns. I
mm,
feel, for me, in Ghana, you can actually, even in Ghana, you can actually possess gun. But then before you be allowed, or before you can actually purchase a gun, a lot of checks go into these things. There's so much checks.
yeah.
It's like you go through a lot of scrutiny. You have to that there's so much you have to present for you to be able to possess a gun in Ghana legally, because people obviously possess illegal guns and whatnot. But then when you go to America, it's not really difficult to purchase a gun, because
Mm,
as you said, there are laws, allow and make provisions for all these things. So because of that, and not so much checks, not so much checks are done as to who is buying, or who wants to possess the gun and what's not. But for me, I think, I feel that it's I don't think it's really bad for people to possess guns. However, I feel there should be an age limit. You get it. You look at the recent happenings. You realize that most of the shootings, or most of the things that have happened in the schools, were teenagers who had access to guns.
mm,
You get it. And that's why I think one of the states have reviewed the law and they have, I think initially people, someone, I think initially the age limit was from 16 and above, or 18,
Yeah.
I think 16 or 18, and they have changed it to 21. So if you are not 21 and above, you can't possess a gun, or you can't go and purchase a gun. I think that should be the way. That should be the way. That should be the way going. That should be what they should be doing now. Because allowing teenagers to to possess guns, it's quite risky. It's very dangerous. Very
But
very
but
dangerous.
but but for its context, it's not only teenagers. It's not, sorry. It's not only teenagers who are possessing these guns. They are mentally unstable people who are purchasing these guns. And I think one thing that uh, the president was just Joe Biden was just saying was he wants to pass a legislation or something, and the Republicans are like blocking him or something. For me, I think he should just use like some of his presidential powers, because these people, they are founded, like they have gun lobbies. Sorry, they have gun lobbyists who are funding their campaign and all that. So it will be very, very hard. And so I was reading from Twitter on a poll, and most people in like red states, let me say like Republican held states, they are like, will you maybe when the government is buying back your guns, will you go and just give it to them and collect money? They said no, they won't give up their guns because that's their right. So I think for me, it's more of like let me say, regulations and all that. Because seriously, the life, it's too much. And even with yesterday's own like this, a gunman, I think, went to went to a hospital, and I think that's a no, 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 no. And according to sources, he intended to kill the doctor because he was in pain. I don't know what the doctor gave him. I don't know the prescription that the doctor gave him that made him to be so much in pain that he just bought a gun and decided to just like straight from the gun shop go to the hospital and just kill the doctor. So I think it's God that seriously, because you might never know what he would have done, because he just killed, let me say, 4 people, but it could have been just worse. It could have been just worse. And
So
and
and then
and wait, let me add this thing. And you see, on the news media and everything, because it's them, they are not able to, like, let me say, voice it out. If it was an African country that was having this kind of gun terror and all that, oh, you could have seen the embassy will just issue a notice to its citizens and all that. But for America, they are not. And that's for me. I think for me, I'll just say our our, our countries, our presidents in Africa should also do same, because there are also Africans there who lives matter. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
for me, one thing I have actually been thinking about is there's a pattern in which these things happen. Because
Yeah.
what once it happens for the first time, or once someone does it, the possibility of it happening somewhere else is mostly high.
Mm,
And that has always been a worry for me, because it almost looks as if the whole thing is planned. that's
yes.
that's how that's how I feel. Because you look at the intervals, the manner in which the whole thing has been occurring. It's happened. It's happened, and then I think in less than a week, or in about a week, it's happened elsewhere. You know, it looks as if it has been staged or planned. In a way, and I don't really understand. I don't. Of course, this is just my thoughts and opinion. I'm not saying that's what has happened, but then for
Yeah.
me, I find it a bit weird. I find it a bit weird how the whole thing
Yeah,
has
it's
been
weird. It's
happening.
weird. Because you can't have gun terror, like let me say gun attacks
Yeah,
simultaneously going on
motivation.
around like 5 states. Seriously, no, 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 no.
It's scary and it's weird. It's I
This
don't
is
know.
just,
I don't know.
let me say, this is just domestic terrorism, but they are just
Yeah,
calling it gun terror or something. I think for me, I think they should just take it in their face and just say this is domestic terrorism. Because if it had happened somewhere, oh please, please,
because
they'll just be
you
saying
know how
Al Shabaab, someone has just killed
exactly.
something. But you seriously, I think for me, I think the country is fucked up because even let me say, if it's a place people will want to go, and even if you ask someone, for me, I would like to go, I would like to visit there sometime. But there are some things that I think should just be so easy for them to fix. Should be so easy for them to fix.
You know, for me, I have said this time and over that America is one place I never dream of visiting or traveling to.
Really?
Telling you since childhood. I don't know why, but then even since the time, I think from JHS days, when everyone wanted to travel and all that. For me, it's one country I have never dreamed of. I have I don't know why. I just don't like the place. I feel it is one country that is in a steep decline. They,
Mm,
they the whole country is messed up.
yeah,
You know, the
true,
whole,
true, true, true.
whole country just messed up. People are doing whatever they want to do. It's good for a country, but then when the liberty, when people have too much liberty, they tend to abuse it or overuse it, and I think
Yeah.
that's what is happening in America. They have so much liberty that everyone thinks they can do whatever they want and go scot free. It's
Mm,
crazy.
it's very,
Just
very crazy.
just yesterday or something like that, a pregnant woman. I think she was, she had a gun, and
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen it. And the police, the police were trying to, were trying to arrest her, and she was misbehaving. She was shot dead. You get it? She, I don't know. Americans,
Hmm.
they have problem. Honestly,
Oh
they
yes.
have,
They
and
have
the
so much
earlier.
problems more than Africans. Because for we
I'm
Africans,
telling
our only problem is, let me say, the economy and our corrupt leaders. But for them, their
you,
problems are
exactly.
too much. Their problems are too much.
It
Because
just
I sometimes wonder, seriously, you, let me say, you are like the first world country, and there are some things that you should be able to just fix. Because just look at Europe. Europe, you can't tell me there are not there they don't people don't buy guns there. Just check UK. People buy guns, but there is a limit. You can't just go to a shop
there's a
and just
limit.
buy 10, 20, and you'll be saying you are like because someone might come into your house, you have to just get a gun to protect yourself. Seriously. Nah, 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 nah. Seriously.
So I don't know if the same. I don't know if it's the same in the US, but then in Ghana, if if you legally possess a gun, it's every year you have to go and renew your license.
Yes. But
That's
for
that,
there,
that's
I'm
how it
not.
is in
But
Ghana.
for there, I think they don't, because every state has
They-
its laws. So, mm,
and even in Ghana, before you be allowed to legally purchase a gun, a lot of background checks. They
hmm,
have to, you have to be someone who really needs it for
yes,
protect. Of course, you need it for protection. So you have to be someone who really needs it for protection. You have to be a business owner. Like you
mm-hmm,
have to prove you have to prove that yes, you possess something. It's
yes,
something that requires a certain level of protection. You get it. But then in America, yo, it's a whole different. So for you know what? Earlier I was talking about a state that has passed a law then that has changed the age limit from I think 18 or 16 to 21.
Yeah.
Now teachers and even some students can actually take guns to school
Yeah.
in America.
Hmm.
The same America.
Hmm.
And I'm like, yo, listen, you have a situation of students who claim to be mentally unstable, bringing guns to school and attacking their fellow students and even their teachers. And here
This
you
can
are
never
passing.
happen in any African country. Even it can't happen here. You can't even take a gun to school. No, you don't even. You don't even. Seriously. Oh, no, no, no. For me,
You
I
look at
think
look at
it's
look
just a
at
business. It's just a business that
you know
people want. Cause how can you
look
have a
at
country of like 300 million and total of all the guns are 500 million? How come? This total
it's crazy.
bullshit. Sorry, listener.
You compare what's happening there to what to a situation here in Ghana. You look at what happened to medical and Shatawale.
Yeah,
They were arrested for brandishing gun for just
yeah,
showing that they have it. They were
yeah.
arrested and they were arraigned to court. So you look at it and you're like, yo, I think I feel personally, I feel Americans are the architects of their own problems.
Yeah, true.
You know, they are the architects of their own problems. Whatever that happens in America was caused by them.
Oh yeah,
It's it's hardly for something to happen there for it to be attributed to external influence or forces. It's mostly within. It's mostly they themselves doing themselves.
yes.
You know, okay.
So down with that. Let's move on to the next topic. So the next one is Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's defamation suit. So the basis of this story is Johnny, I think, sued Amber previously. I think they divorced and they had a
Yeah,
settlement in the UK, and the UK court awarded, let me say, settlement to Amber Heard. And I think most of it was she decided to donate it to charity. We didn't know. So I think, and that story too, it was heard from one side. So after 6 years later, Johnny Depp countersued her for 100, was it $100 million or something? No, for 10
million.
million, 50 or,
Yeah, million.
and Amber Heard countersued Johnny Depp for $100 million. So this was like a libel defamation suit. So for
Yeah,
me, I'm very happy because I am very happy he's been able to clear his name and all that. And I think one of my favorite tweets from at Gaza S. Roberts, it says, it took Amber Heard one day to ruin a man's life. It took Johnny Depp 6 years, millions of dollars, witnesses, and audio recordings to get that back. Yet she is still making this all about herself. And she is making it all up about herself. I don't know for our listeners out there, if you are an Amber Heard fan, I'm sorry for you. But we are not going to take sides, but we're just going to say the truth of it. Because seriously, you can't just defame someone, your husband, and there are a whole lot of things. You can't just lie upon someone, upon a man that you've been with for like a whole lot of years. Then everything, he could still feel the pain and everything that you could see it even during the courts. like the court proceedings and everything. And I think one thing that she thought she could play was with the, let me say, the acting and all that with the jury, and because if you can see from the court proceedings, she'll always be watching the jury making all that skirmishes and all that. So I think the jury prevailed, and I think they gave Johnny Depp, I think, close to like $10 million, and for her she only got $2 million. And even for that $2 million, it was, I think, a lie. It was a lie about something one of Johnny Depp's lawyers said that I think the jury gave it to us. So what do you have to say about it, Jalali?
So well, I followed the court proceedings to, to some extent. I think for ever since the whole court process began, and before I go to bed, I go on YouTube and then watch at least some portions of the proceedings, the daily
Yeah.
proceedings, and I was really amazed, because you listen. So I think one of the problems, or one of the mistakes, one of the many mistakes Amber Heard and her team did was not taking accountabilities to some, not taking accountability to some of the things they did. Because one of the things that were obvious evidence, like they were real, that she actually messed up. So all they could have done was accept it. Oh yes, after all, she's human, and no human is perfect. You understand? That's where they had it all wrong. Not taking accountability for anything, nothing. Even when she had been caught red-handed, this lady was still. She was still denying it. Like, you've been caught. Just admit it. That okay, yes, this place I fell short. After all, come on, and we know, come on, marriages are not perfect. Marriages, come on, it's hard work, and it comes with a lot of things. You understand? So I feel one of the things. I'm sure it was a strategy. It just didn't go their favor.
Yeah.
They tried to paint her pure white, blameless, which didn't count for them. And you could see from during the she couldn't even cry. Sometimes she poses for the cameras and all that, like, this is really sad. And for me, I'm happy. I'm happy actually. I'm happy about the court ruling, because one, at least a lot of times it's very difficult for the man to win in these kind of cases.
Yeah.
But then at least Johnny Depp won, so it's good. It's good for men, because this story about believing all women. See the kind of damage it has caused some men. Johnny Depp's case is a tip of the iceberg. Look at what happened to this man, our own footballer.
What?
Atlantic.
Yeah.
Look at what happened to him. Look at what happened to him. And look how many years it took for him to get his properties and assets back. It's crazy. It's real. That's the scary thing. One of the most scariest thing about this whole believe all women, and the whole Me Too movement. When I don't know.
The Me Too movement is dead. Is dead because
I don't know if we're on Twitter when a guy committed suicide because a lady.
Yeah.
So now that thing scares me to death. See, it kills me because listen, a lady can just destroy you for nothing. All she has to do is to come out and say that this person abused me, or this person raped me, and then that's it. No one will listen to your side of the story. And people have been banging on this, that listen, yes, rape is it's a dangerous, it's a huge offense. But then when a lady comes out to make such accusations, let's at least listen to the other person's side of the story. But then the moment you say this, they label you as a rape apologist.
Hmm.
And it's dangerous. It has set dangerous precedents, and I'm just happy at least for once the man's side of the story was heard, and it turned out people actually the jury actually found favor in the man, and for me, and then you look at what happened after the ruling. You
Mm.
look at the statement she released, like, yo, for once, Charlie, be accountable for something, take accountability for something, admit your wrongdoing. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy for John Depp because I'm a fan. I'm not even going to hide
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Johnny Depp. Listen, I grew up watching Jack Sparrow. Pirates of the Caribbean. Who didn't watch Pirates of the Caribbean? I
Everyone
grew up.
watched it.
There's a man with huge talents, but then look at what happened to him after the whole divorce, case and what's not. See, his career came to a standstill.
Yeah,
It's
he didn't do
literally died.
anything for 6 years.
Solid years, he did nothing because no one wanted to, and that's the thing. No one wants to associate themselves with an abuser. You get it?
Yeah.
Because it dents their reputation and then their brand. And of course, you understand how these things work. If even if someone believes that, well, he's innocent, because of course they have to look out for themselves too, and it's business. They wouldn't want to do something that will affect their business. You understand?
Mm.
You know, yo, but head, Charlie, the things she has done there, it's crazy. She
It's
didn't do
too
well.
much.
She didn't.
It's too much. It's too much. She's just evil. I'll just say that.
No, cause it will take it. Do you know what it takes to put to accuse someone of domestic abuse, domestic violence? Do what it will take for someone to watch someone they claim to have ever loved, to drain them,
Hmm.
leave them with nothing, not even their own career.
Hmm. It's so sad. It's so sad. It's so sad.
Sad, sad.
So we have few minutes to end the show. So let's go to this last topic. Um, Barcelona. Hey, sorry, seriously. What today, dear? Why am I just messing up? I don't know why. So Barcelona's defender PK cheated on her girlfriend. I don't want to say wife or girlfriend. So you let's say his partner, Shakira. And this news where like people are just like how like you could just go on Twitter and just be seeing people tweet like this guy is just a fool. Like how can you cheat on someone like that? And one thing that I think is I've seen it, a lot of people who were like kind of admiring her and all that have started following her because they think she'll be single soon. So you have like Chris Evans, the actor, following her, and I'm like, hey, a whole lot. Hmm.
So when I saw the news the first time, I wasn't like, like, in all honesty, I wasn't really shocked because from other sources too, and for me, luckily for me, I read the other side of the story even before I saw the news itself.
Yeah,
So from other sources, they are not married, and they
yeah,
have
they
been
are not.
together for years. And apparently, whenever PK, brings up the idea of they marrying, like properly getting married so they can settle down, Shakira rubbishes it off. Like she just pushes it to the background. It looks as if she's not ready to settle or to be in a committed. I wouldn't say committed because, of course, if they have been together for over 10 years, there's some level of commitment. However, come on, how long are you going to date yourself? At a point in time, you'd have to, you know, um, label whatever you're doing. You'd have to,
Mm,
marry each other. And everyone goes into a relationship with with different objective, or with different with different objectives. Everyone and what they want in a relationship. I'm sure if PK has brought up the idea of they marrying several times, then he really wants to marry. So
mm,
if you are not willing to settle down with him, then at a point in time he'll be fed up. You get tired. I'm not saying he cheating was the best. However, come on, come on. You can't be doing boyfriend girlfriend for over 10 years.
mm.
At a point in time, one will be tired, and that's the truth. That's the whole thing about this whole people not really understanding. People talk about they not wanting to marry. They want to. However, people claim they don't want to get married, but then they want to spend all their life with one person without really marrying the person. So we are dating, but then it's just you and I, but they will not marry.
Yeah.
And the moment, one of the reasons why people marry is for to um cause this to build some level of certainty for me to know this person is my person and I'm also that person's person. But the moment, because it's just relationship, it's just dating. And if we are dating, I have I have and I meet someone I feel I'm compatible with. Listen, I have every right to to settle down with a person, or to change the person, because there's no level of commitment. You understand? We are not married.
Yeah.
There's nothing binding us. You
Yeah.
get it?
Mm,
So for me, yeah, listen, it's what he did was wrong. However, we blame him. You can't blame him.
mm,
There's nothing binding them together. There is
mm.
absolutely nothing. You know.
Okay. So, our listeners, this is the end of the part one. And for the part two will be on our Patreon. So you can go follow, like our Patreon, follow, and you can get a part two. It's been nice having this conversation with you guys. I hope you guys will enjoy our other episodes. And seriously, sorry, cause today I'm just having like messed up. Cause my I think everything I'm saying is just not on point. So I would like to say thank you to everyone, our loyal listeners everywhere. Like to thank you very much. So we continue on our